The Slovak Library for the Blind of Mateja Hrebendu in Levoča. An old town of Levoča, former capital of Spiš province towns, belong to the most important town monument properties of Slovakia. Thanks to its valuable cultural historical monuments, on 27th of June 2009, the town was integrated into the list of the World Cultural Heritage UNESCO. The town attracts people not only with the beauty of historical monuments, but also with the quality and range of care for visually impaired people. Into the complexity of the care system for visually impaired and weak-sighted people belongs also the Slovak Library for the Blind of Mateja Hrebendu in Levoča. The library was founded thanks to the assignment of the Ministry of School and Education on 28th of November 1946 as a Slovak print for visually impaired people. The foundation of the library became an important step towards the integration and education for visually impaired people in Slovakia, as they acquired the access to information and to knowledge which belongs to the basic human rights. A dominant contribution to the foundation of the library has had the teacher of the state-owned institution for visually impaired people, Mr. Josef Vrabel. Since 1st of October 1948, also Mr. Imrich Uhriňák was working there. The library was founded in the state-owned institution for visually impaired people in Levoča. Since 21st of May 1976, the Slovak Library for the Blind of Mateja Hrebendu in Levoča has its seat in a new functional institution at the Štúrova Street, number 36 in Levoča. A part of the book information department has got its seat in a historical building at the Square of Master Paul, number 31 in Levoča. The Slovak Library for the Blind of Mateja Hrebendu in Levoča is the only one and unique national book information center for disabled people in the Slovak Republic and also for Slovak people living abroad. The library is active in the field of information flow towards visually impaired people and weak-sighted, as well as towards the people with various disabilities, aiming the fulfillment of their cultural needs, as well as the need for education and simplification of their work and social life. The Slovak Library for the Blind of Mateja Hrebendu in Levoča, further on only library, is an organization divided as following: Department of the Book Information Services, Edition, Department of Sound Studios, Department of Print and Expedition, Business Economic Department, Secretary. Department of the Book Information Services. Function of the Book Information Services is the selection, elaboration, assessment and keeping of the book fund dedicated to visually impaired, weak-sighted or otherwise disabled people. There are more than 1,200 users, not only in the Slovak Republic but also in the foreign countries, thereof more than 150 children and young people to 15 years. The library offers its borrowing services of books, borrowing of books to the house of the person interested.
Máš takú dobrú knižku, našu slovenskú?
Máme novú knihu od Heleny Bokovej.
Reading services, access of books only in the facility of library, and parcel borrowing services. For non-mobile users from the town of Levoči, the mentioned department provides regular door-to-door service. In the compartment of the library is a reading room for users equipped with computers, with special program equipment, tactile graphic, braille printer, special player Plextalk for sound books created in the system Daisy, and internet connection free of charge. Borrowing, as well as the other book information services, provides the library free of charge. Presently, the book fund contains more than 36,000 book units, within more than 5,500 titles of audio books and more than 2,500 titles in tactile graphic. The library is open to public daily during working days. The Book Information Services Department provides acquisition of documents, which means the refilling of the book fund by purchasing of literature, by donations, and obligatory printed copies. The Edition Commission is an advisory organ of the library's manager, whereas the main task is the provision of literature selection, preparation of the edition plans for the production of documents, and special forms, audio, tactile graphic, printing form, online. After the meeting of the Edition Commission, the selected books are bibliographically processed in the book information system, and afterwards they are moved forward to the production for processing into the audio form and tactile graphic form. About the new books, users obtain information through the book news in newspapers published by the library on the web page or by book catalogs. The Book Information Services Department regulates methodically 31 departments for disabled people in public libraries on the territory of all Slovakia. Through the transmission of book files, the library provides audio documents, whereas one file represents 10 titles. In 2006, a new digital library was opened to public, enabling the users to listen to the audio books and audio newspaper from the library's website. Audio files are protected against unauthorized use.
Spustíme si Harryho Pottera 7. Tu sú jednotlivé kapitoly a môžeme si pustiť prvú kapitolu.
Prvá kapitola Temný pán nastupuje.
The digital library contains more than 2,200 audiobooks and newspapers. More than 250 users per year are enjoying these services. A part of the audiobooks the readers will find on the website www.skn.sk, also the archive of the magazine article published by SKN MH with the full text searching services. Digital services are supplemented by email package. To the abonnents of these services are forwarded also the audiobooks recorded by synthetic speech. The department develops collective working forums. It organizes cultural, social, and educational events for adults and youth. Most of all, the chats with writers and other exceptional personalities author readings, reading competitions, presentation of literary pieces, seminars, informative educations, excursions for public and so
Dovolte,
on.
aby som vás všetkých, ktorí ste prišli na besedu so mnou, srdečne pozdravila a popriala vám krásny deň.
In 2010, the library opened the room of Mateja Hrebenda, visually impaired propagator of book culture in Slovakia. The exposition is situated in the museum's building on the main square of Master Paul, number 32. Mateja Hrebenda was a collector of old books and folk songs. He visited many towns and villages with his leather bag on his back, full of Slovak and Czech books and calendars. He handed out these books and calendars to simple people, bringing them the light of knowledge. He saved old books and sent them to schools, associations, or institutions, or he delivered these books to educated people. The Mateja Hrebenda room is open to the users of the library and to the public during the working days. It serves as a reading room for studies, for meeting of literature clubs, and so on. Edition. The mission of the edition is to provide actual and valuable information to the visually impaired people via 18 newspapers published in tactile graphic, in audio on CDs, in a maximized black print, and in electronic versions with different periodicity. There is a wide range offer of magazines for women, for young people, for seniors, and for lovers of science, culture, sport, and music. Audio magazines are regularly enriched by the serials, also write-ups and discussions.
Keby ste boli takí dobrí mi povedať, čo sa vám páči a čo sa vám nepáči v tejto škole, napríklad ty.
A tak mne sa tu napáči najviac od pani riaditeľky, že nám vybavuje všelijakých sponzorov a že aj tí sponzori prispievajú na túto školu, aby sa konali všelijaké aktivity a akcie, aby sme mohli ísť na nejaké výlety.
Povedz mi, čo sa ti nepáči. Je aj také niečo?
Áno. Je, keď napríklad nám takedy dajú toľko veľa domácich, že...
Ako domácich úloh myslíš?
Áno.
A čo by si robil, keby si nemal domáce úlohy? Nudil by si sa?
Nie.
Môžeš mi ty povedať, čo sa ti tu v škole páči alebo nepáči?
Sú tu učitelia, ktorí si vedia porozumieť s nami ako so žiakmi. Potom sú tu
Editorial Society infills the magazine content by own contributions and other sources of information like the internet and newspapers. Also, otherwise disabled people and external workers contribute to the content. The oldest magazine is Nový život, The New Life, whereas its first edition was in September 1949. In 2011, the Literature Club was founded, in which the beginners and advanced, as well as the visually impaired people and weak-sighted authors of poesy in prose have got the opportunity to talk to each other about their literature production. Also, the enclosure, the literature workshop, published in the magazine Cultural Literature Selection, is connected with it.
Podarilo sa mu naň nadviazať v učiteľskom seminári v mestečku Plauen. Prirodzene pedagógovia boli dôkladne informovaní o príčine, pre ktorú Karol nastúpil do ich ústavu.
Each 2 years, the edition participates in a national literature revival, Days of Mateja Hrebendu. Each year, a part of the magazines, the edition prepares also table calendars or combined in tactile graphic and also in black print. Edition prepares also big one with tactile graphic, one-page calendars as well as Christian calendars. Traditionally, also relief pictures and Christmas and Easter postcards are prepared. For several years, there is an interest increase in magazine assigned for seeing public. The edition offered social magazine Život, The Life, for the first time in 2009. Since then, there are also other titles like Zdravie, The Health, Slovenka, Slovak Woman, and since 2012 also Diabetics. And since 2010, all the magazines are edited also on CDs. Since 2003, every 2 years, the edition organizes a national exhibition. The name of the first exhibition was What Can Our Hands Do? Within 3 years, there were more than 100 visually impaired and weak-sighted authors from all Slovakia presented there. In December 2009, the trend of exhibitions changed and visually impaired were presented there with their different collections: bells, table napkins, play boxes, and so on. In the next 2 years, collected miniatures were presented there. A part of the 4 members' team work is also the archiving and saving of printed documents containing any kind of information about activity of library and visually impaired people movement in Slovakia. Department of Sound Studios. The audiobooks recording started in 1962. Since then, there was a huge development in the recording technology, starting with audio tape until compact discs. Presently, are audiobooks and magazines recorded in 2 sound studios equipped with modern digital recording technique.
Slovenská knižnica pre nevidiacich Mateja Hrebendu v Levoči. Renáta sa začína nejako podozrivo obšmietať okolo Benovej lavice. Ukradomky na ňu pozerám. Vyráža mi tým svojím štýlom obliekania dých. Holý pupok, odhalený dekolt, pretrča sa a pohadzuje vlasmi.
Dobre, ďakujem pekne, máme to.
In average, the year production of the studios is 120 till 150 titles of audiobooks to the scope of 1,200 to 1,500 hours of net recording and presently 15 titles of audio magazines with different periodicity. The work of readers provides externally authors from Slovak theaters, moderators, but also amateurs who have the necessary voice abilities. After the reading of black print text and after the evaluation of the registration, the record is processed into the final product, which is the original audiobook on CD. Afterward, there are produced some copies, which are then integrated into the book font. The original of books and magazines are archived on CD and audio form. Recordings of audiobooks and magazines on CDs in the MP3 form, respectively in audio form, are offered to visually impaired people. Some titles, mostly of the area of professional literature, are processed in the form of Daisy. But all the original of the books produced so far are saved in the archive of original audio documents. Recordings on audio tape and cassette produced earlier are then in stages processed into the digital form. The expedition of audio magazines is provided all year long, free of charge.
Milí čitatelia, skôr než sa započúvate do tejto knihy, venujte pozornosť nasledujúcim.
Department of the Print and Expedition. The Department of the Print and Expedition prepares type area correction, print, book processing, and expedition of all documents in tactile graphic, like magazines, fiction, music, description to relief pictures, calendars, and different text according to the requirements of edition, edition commission, schedule of magazines for users. A part of the magazines in tactile graphic, also magazines with maximized type of letters, of black letters, are produced. The work in type area department is based on close cooperation with correction.
Keď je tam nejaký preklep, tak sa k tomu vrátiť a opraviť.
Delivered